Good morning, folks. It's 9:48 a.m. on the second month, 7th day, 2025. I'm looking at here is the Maniacs Birding Tasmania. This is an image from the 6th of February. 6. A whistle there. Is you could. I'm trying to find the town names here, so let's get some of the place names on. As you can see where they're birding. There's some town out there today has a fire line is right on the edge of some pine trees that are over 1,000 years old and are going up in smoke. And this here is the Meredith Range, their regional reserve, and the fire data from today there shows. Look at these distances here. This is 2 kilometer. It's not very often you can put it on a certain number here. And so you have consistency with what's on your screen, but no matter what level you put that on, you're going to see an evenness to some of these things. Like this February 7th over the Meredith Range. I'm going to try to do this with as little emotion as possible so I can keep it clean. So possibly a documentary time is happening. And I'm going to show you what type devices I think are possibly can be deployed in here. Okay, so what I want to show you here is a day and night differences between the fires themselves, because sometimes these will show you different geometries, right? Why is all these line up in a straight line with each other? You'll have to get your straight edge out and see. This is also the best sound quality I can have with the equipment that I use, so please put some headphones on and sit back and take this information on board. As you see, just how exact those are apart. Perfect squares, almost like a GPS can do. And I'll continue along here with each one of these parks. So this show is going to take a little while for me to do, but it's the easiest one on my hand to do this. Like this repeated trapezoid. Here's perfect trapezoid. Or the Cassiopeia formation, like Cassiopeia, wherever you want to call it. The distances between these fires is almost exact. I don't see how that dry lightning can do this. And dry lightning happens when there's already a thunderstorm there, or a storm, but the water itself is not making it to the ground. It evaporates before it hits it, right? That's a lot of the excuses we're hearing is dry lightning, where I don't see the clouds around here to do that. But I see many devices in the world. And that looks more pell-mell, like you would expect in a wildfire. But if I turn the days and nights off, you might see something a little bit different. Like that trapezoid here over this area here. And these exact lines like they're making a road. Or maybe a wind farm line. Or you have to look at what the master plan is for the Meredith Range Regional Reserve to contemplate the reasons why. I'm just going to show you the data I see. And the nighttime burn, it looked like this. And you zoom in, you see the exactnesses. Why does that particular distance keep repeating itself around maps? When I look at that particular 1,000 meter that I'm looking at here above the planet to look down, and you start to see some of this is impossible to have been done naturally, like that. And when you add in all the other ones that happen, you get the plan of the burn of the area. And this is, again, outside Meredith Range, and it's the ocean out here of the Great Australian Bight. And I'm watching a specific area being burned. Like that there, that's in a perfect arc. See that? And the distances between there and there and there and there and there and there are very, very, very similar. I don't see how ashes can roll around the air and drop down cinder fire or anything. And then he added that was the daytime burn, but you can't do a determinant about one dot and one dot unless that, and that are the same distance. And I'm going to get my ruler out there if I can remember where it is. I'm going to measure that distance. All right, you can just hold a card up. I'm going to hold a card up here to see how close that is. That's nearly exactly the same. The distance between this point and that point is the same as nearly as the distance between this point and this point. There's only one way I can do this determinant. Is to measure the distance of here to here. Right? And then do that again. So that was about 4 kilometers. And then I can measure the distance from here to here. And, this is roughly. I'm not zooming super in. And you see something there? What's that telling you? You don't think that's a... I just took a screenshot, by the way. That's what that was. You don't tell me that that's not sus at all? Let's do another measurement. Let's measure this here. From here to here. And then to here. Or is it that one? Which one's given the same? I want to do what I just did a moment ago. So let's do this again. I want to measure the distance between this fire. Excuse me a minute. And this one. My hand is not cooperating. It's just not. Like that and that distance is about 1 kilometer. This distance and this distance, Tazzy, is about 1 kilometer. I didn't go exactly on it, and then another kilometer. Okay, that distance and this is just, see where the halfway point is here? This is totally a man-made thing. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of devices that can very accurately use GPS to do fires. I'm just looking to see, it's a little short of that word. These are around 2.7 kilometers apart, some of these fires. When you start looking at these dodgy distances that I show you, you're going to see the similarities of some of these fires. I'll give you a chance to screenshot that before I clear everything. Which was that easy to plant back that forest of pines that's going to be burning. What happened in the days that the forest pined for us with their pine nuts and the animals, and now one day we're going to pine for the forests that are no longer here, and that was February 4th, right? And that was the daytime burn. And when you look at that one again there, it looks pretty pell-mell, don't it? Okay, so at night, that occurred. And again, you got an arc. Again, you got very measurable distances. I'm not having a conspiracy here. I'm just noticing something, right? I noticed that cloud looked like a face, but I don't need. It's got some kind of money pox on it, growing on its face there. All that that's a thing. Yep. So these burn patterns are so exacting, and Grampians as well. Is also simultaneously experiencing these same conditions, like Meredith Range, because I'll go right back to that fire, as we was measuring on a few of these here. There's some fires that are burning that don't show up in the stats. I could see them on satellite. I could see them here, burning. I can watch Australia burn, looking at a satellite image right here. You're burning. You're burning. And I don't think it's dry lightning. I think you got a case of the news dry humping you with a bunch of excuses. It's nice not to see big snow plumes there. There's all these chemtrails streamering across Australia, and I'm not really going to get into the weather on this one. Right? I'm trying to keep it clean here so we can use this for something. But I get emotional. I have a Tourette's condition. I'd also like to thank people for participating in the help and GoFundMe that I have. It's an old one. And that's why it's nearly filled up. It was used to buy about 3,000 Australian worth of plane tickets. Yes, to do the travels and such around Australia and to get back home and not be homeless. And so thank you guys for the beauty of that. Wonderful thoughts. I'm going to show you some devices I think are capable of doing this. But I want to zoom north of you now. All right, we'll put the fires back on because this is what's burning. It's horrendous. That was a corrected thing. Hang on a moment. I don't like corrected reflectances. I just want to see stuff. So we've got the fires. That was there's no nighttime fires burning on February 2nd, my birthday, but there was here on that day, and that's Grampians. But I want to finish with the month, what's been happening in Tassie, and I want to show you that there's a fire burning that you can't. That's not listed. It's right over here on that date. You'll see. Yeah, let me put that back on. All right, so there's nothing going on here the first of the month. So I'm took you all the way through February 2nd, 3rd. Why ain't my fire showing? Now we see smoke. Hang on a minute. Something's not showing here, folks. I have to refresh. And I'm going to show you some devices that makes it quite possible to do man-made fires. Are we running? Yes. This program takes a long time to load. So while it's going to load, I'm going to get rid of a few of these screens. So I asked some questions today of myself. What's possible to go around that can be in private hands, so no government, no nothing, that just some people that want to have land or minerals can be done. And I find the TF-19 WASP Generation 2 flamethrower drone, which is freely available online and regretfully forbidden to use for harm, right? Because you can go buy this, and I posted links to all this stuff on my wall. They can be mounted to some incredible devices, and here's some examples of things that this device is mounted to. I'm going to go to the Robot Dog with Flamethrower video here from Throw Flame. Got to always make sure you give it a like, subscribe, I don't know. Look at this thing. Watch this. I don't like alarming music. I don't like alarming music in my videos. It's emotional enough to think that something like this, with the sensing device, and has night vision, laser capability, that's what that is. It could just walk around and out. Well, a GPS program could have this thing just burn wherever you want. It was creepy looking when the flames were coming. And this could just walk on along. You could have one of these patrolling your property, man. Get off my land. But it's very regretfully forbidden to use for certain things. Like burning bombs, what it is not allowed. Laughter is still allowed. And this thing just cruises through the woods. Hi, where am I supposed to burn? Oh, right there. I've walked my 1.7 kilometers. Spray, flame. Oh, God, ain't that creepy? Oh. These are the toys, the new AI. Watch, hi. Jumping for joy as it bursts down the pines. What a fucking shame. Little ejaculate there at the end. Oh, my, I'm trying to keep it clean. Yes. If a part of you doesn't want one of these, I'm surprised. It's perfectly normal and not regretfully forbidden to want things. It's just doing so. Oh, God, look about some skyria falling. So that can be remotely controlled by a drone at a Terminator dock. Okay, so we'll stop there and just get a good shot at this Mr. Drone here doing its thing. Right, what a shame. Look at that, huh? Okay, we got skyria. Now, you can get skyria from a drone chopper. That also will accept that device that I showed you, the TF-19 WASP Generation 2. Remotely, you know what, these run off of a gasoline, right? There's nothing special fuel-wise. This thing can fly around and just give a big case of skyria. Hi! Let me give you a little touch-up. Gregory Hines once said in a movie, it was a Sale of the Century. Hi, just drop that right on down, forget that wasp nest, right on out of there. Or will it have more nefarious uses? Is it possible that the jokes we told about Oprah sitting on her porch with a drone flamethrower, and it might not be so far from a reality? Were dogs walking around neighborhoods? Are those Terminator dogs being used? Is anybody seeing stuff like this? Look, he's just going to fill this up. Watch how easy this is to set up. Pull out the juice, fill it with some petrol can, put the cap on it, It's not very hard to happen. Can't tell me this can't be done. Because I'm seeing the distances and accuracies of fire that it's impossible for dry lightning to do. Lightning's a random thing. Lightning don't strike a mile apart and a kilometer apart far too often. Far too often. And I'm seeing it far too often. So we'll get a good shot of this one here just flaming it up. But you see it's pretty simple to do. It's not just the Lockheed Martin directed energy stuff like you'll see right here. The next generation defenses that could be doing things. This could well be just being done by philanthropists who are invested in the land and want a smart agenda, and they want you off that land with as little protest from you as possible. Well, this is a whole nother, and this is difficult to prove. All of this is just what I suspect. And these lasers can be mounted on private jets as well. The Lockheed Martin ones like that, that's more of your weather to show. But the TF-19 is quite possible to be being deployed. Of course, Australia is. So I'm going to go now. We got some more fire here, and that was from the 5th. And this is going on now, right now. You can't tell me that the home base looking thing right there is naturally occurring lightning when I know they've got stuff like this. And I know they've got stuff like this. And they got stuff like this. It's going on. They've got stuff like this. So there's a lot of plausible deniability and a lot of guesswork at intelligence stuff that I'm hearing. I don't think they're destroying tunnels, myself. And I do see very dodgy distance fires, and they've been burning out this part of Australia for quite a while over here. This is today. I'm not seeing any flames, images from over here. But got lucky this day, kind of, because there's no clouds in the way. To show this area of fires, so I can go to the day-night again and put this up, and you see these distances are the same, don't you? You want me to do a quick one for you? We'll just measure some distances here. It's about 1.5 kilometers. Okay, I'm sorry about that noise. Is that better? That's 2 kilometers. Let's just do what it is. Let's see if we got any about the same. Right? Don't go making up your data. Go see what's there. Right? That's how data works. Right? What's this one? So is any of these getting similar? Have we got similarities yet? And you have to draw these lines. You have to look for things like what's connecting a dot. Like how much distance is in this straight line here is my biggest curiosity. So let's measure distance here. Let's get a little more accurate. Right, this line is straight as fuck, wouldn't you say? So we got 4 kilometers there, right? That's fairly even. It's near halfway point. So this is, they having a new crossroads going through here? Or do you think the animal in this one spot can get out when a fire has surrounded it? This is what upsets me so much about covering fires. Is to try to look at this, at the geometry. If they were using a laser, they usually fire a very even pattern. And I just did another mark right there. Let's see what that is. Oops. You can get them so close together. And the result is, right, continue these lines out more accurate. And I'd say that those two lines are very, very, very similar. To the distances involved. And what was this one here, 1.8? They're very close, very, very, very close, just to look at this one day's fires. That's why I say some of these things take me an hour or so to load up. It's a click. That's 1.5. It's about a click. So you better have an equilateral triangle forming here, folks. This is it. You ain't making this up. I'm just looking at things. The afterburners on, and you put on the anomalies that happen during the day. You see more and more and more of these things. It's pretty undeniable what's going on. Let's get rid of those. Okay. Now, I'm over here on February 5th. It's another, I had quite a few measurements there. And again, you see, it looks a little more pell-mell, don't it? Because if you would expect that with winds and embers and fires, these things just never be of equal distance after you got one of these going. So at night, this was done. See the straight lines here? See the distances? I'm going to leave it up to you to get a little ruler there and put it up on your screen. But during the day, they did this. And now that looks a lot less pell-mell, don't it? There's firefighters out here trying to fight these things, and this stuff might be getting them in the center. There'll be blowovers. These poor fucking folks that have to fight these fires and have their stuff burned out. I'm sorry, I'm really trying not to swear. I'll light a cigarette. Look at that. You don't think those distances are dodgy when I can draw diagonals from places that are vastly apart or burned out areas in between? What about this one? What can we do with that line? We can go through all those. Then we can go through all these with it. You would need a different length. You get off of here. You know, well, you could line up stuff that's not even connected. Well, you got to say to yourself, there's something going on here. Something has a GPS. Something's walking around. Something that won't tell no tales. The Terminator. That's what that's called. Yep, with the TF-19 Generation 2 flamethrower. Mobile flamethrower on the top. Don't you tell me this can't be done. Don't you? Yeah, this is horrendous. How come this field of stuff is burning in such an accurate way? Let's see if it'll leave a line on here. Oh, let's look across here. All right, we have 14-kilometer stretch. How's that been burning? How many days of that line? Yay, no burnings. We got day and night on that one both. How many intersecting fires? It's nice not to see so much of that. How about initially? Good. Good. That's very pell-mell, isn't it? What I like, that's what I should see in fires. Oh, but I take off the day and nights and I see something entirely different. Entirely different. Right turn, Clyde. Perfect curves, like you were using French curves that you use for geoengineering. My gosh, look at this down here, February 1st. Look at that. The nighttime burn, very straight lines, perfect dodgy distances here, very, very much enforced. As we're going to do that again. I'm going to do a from here to here, it's 1.4, and on 3, that's another 1.5 each. Close to another 1.5 each. It's pretty samey there, wasn't it? Pretty samey. So I'll put on individual lines now, getting a little closer here. Let's see some. Right, there's line 1, a little bit shy of that. Let's do another one. A bust. Why didn't you put no line there? I'm trying to get it close. Close. We go down to the. Come on, get over there. I'm not trying to make him just say or try to get it over to the death. He's very close, you know. I don't think an ember, and if that had made it all the way to there, there'd be your difference. Let's go with another one. And this is what you have to do your own homework, to do your own determining. Because my hand's starting to hurt, so I'm fixing to show you guys as much as possible, and then click off because this is hard. So as you look at stuff like this, and you zoom back. You see the distances are very samey. I have to say that when it comes to the excuse of dry lightning, that I think we're being lied to. And I do have the definitions of such things up on my wall. Like such things like, can you use a laser beam to trigger lightning? Which is, it can. Okay, so lasers is possible to create a duct and make lightning from a very high altitude platform. What is dry lightning itself is a definition. It's a thunderstorm that produces thunder and lightning, but the water doesn't make it to the ground. So they tell you it's dry lightning, and you go on here and say, well, wait a minute, where's the storm? Where is the storm? It's not there. It's non-existent. I call, say, bunko on that one. That is a lie. And I think we're being lied to about Grampians Fire. And this is the 31st of January. I'm going to open up a little more that you could see. And you do the measurements. You do the look-ins. All I see here is the destruction of a beautiful, beautiful national park, which is our heritage to our children. And well, you often see so many government things say, do this for the children, do that for the children. Well, what are we doing for the children of the animals out here? This ain't helping them. Now, I know wildfires are part of life, but somebody going wild and having fires over here at Grampian National Park, as I go even past into January, is totally unacceptable. And it's totally, totally man-made. You can't tell me that it's not. And then look at this and say, hey, wait a minute, you're totally wrong. There's no way that these distances are not designed, engineered to be this way, right? This is February 5th. This is today with nothing showing on the fires there. And we finally have some showing here over in Tasmania, where you see just what I have, perfect right angles here, perfect engineering, perfect agenda, land grabbing. I'm hearing the words master plan. It bothers me. And well, if the master plan in your area has your house on it, you could plan on owning nothing and somehow being happy. Do you see these devices that are in private hands? Do you see what can be done? This is our world to either be the guardians of or be the parasites on which destroys it. Choice is up to us. Big love, stay safe, be vigilant, peace. I think we're being lied to about dry lightning.